The employment status of the Scottsbluff County Tourism Director hangs in limbo following a discussion over whether and how the topic should be handled. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, Monday's Scottsbluff County Board agenda included an executive session regarding a personnel matter to be followed by, quote, consideration and action concerning employment status of Tourism Director Brenda Lacey. However, legal counsel said the person who was going to be discussed objected to the closed session, forcing commissioners to debate how to move forward. Despite the legal advice on the proposed executive session, Commissioner Charlie Knapper pressed the issue on the need for a discussion behind closed doors.
I'm going to request that Brenda rescinds her request for a public hearing. Brenda has a resume that would shine. And I do not want to go into items in public session that might be in the media or perceived a certain way. I'm going to request that we continue an executive session. We're going to come back out here and be in public. And if Brenda won't grant that request, then my next request, and it will be a motion, is that we continue to go into executive session for the reason of protecting the reputation of the county and avoiding potential litigation.
Neither request officially materialized, nor did Knapper's later suggestion of a special meeting. That left Chair Mark Harris to discuss with legal counsel the options to set aside the entire subject.
I would certainly suggest that we do it that way in an effort for us to be fully prepared. Jason to be fully prepared for it. And because I don't believe that any of us knew of that thought or option. I mean, it's always a possibility as far as that goes, but I don't think we had any indication that that's where we were heading tonight. And because of that, I would suggest that we not hear that item, not take action on that item, not start action on that item, but we simply put it off to the next meeting.
Prior to the closed session discussion, Lacey was asked during staff reports to list the various events and activities she was involved in over the prior year, and during public comment, several members of the public tied to tourism voiced support for Lacey. Ultimately, the board passed over the closed discussion and voted to table the discussion on the tourism director's employment status to a date yet to be determined. On the KNEB News Facebook page, an overwhelming amount of support for Lacey was voiced and the work that she's done for her 10-plus years here in the Valley. Well, last call outside a Chadron bar this St. Patrick's Day turned into felony charges for a man for his role in a physical altercation. Chadron Police Chief Rick Hickstein says around 1:10 a.m. on Tuesday, officers attempted to break up a fight outside a bar on Main Street. The suspect, 25-year-old Patrick McLaughlin, attempted to punch a victim, but ended up striking a uniformed officer in the face. McLaughlin was arrested on charges including third-degree assault on an officer, a Class 3A felony, and was booked into the Dawes County Jail with bond set at $25,000 at 10%. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
The Scottsbluff City Council has approved a resolution to amend residency requirements for the Park, Cemetery, and Tree Board to allow up to 3 individuals living outside of city limits to serve. The prior ordinance capped that number at 2, but President Dan Marshall, Vice President Megan Hayward, and Secretary Larry Cooper now all live outside the designated zone. During the first reading of the ordinance on February 18th, Councilmember Jerry Stricker, who is neighbors with former City of Scottsbluff Parks Director Rick Deeds, spoke against the proposed change.
I will support having 2 members in the county and not a third one that does not live in the city, and have the person step down. During my campaigning, I asked citizens their general thoughts on this because I found out pretty early, and I didn't find one person that thought it was a good idea to have more than 2 positions outside of the city.
During the second reading of the ordinance on March 3rd, former board member Cassandra Lauder voiced praise for Marshall, Hayward, and Cooper and said they were assets for the people of Scottsbluff.
The board actually benefits substantially from the expertise of Dan, Megan, and Larry, and they're invaluable assets to the community, and it was an honor to serve with them for the last 10 years, and they've shown an unwavering commitment to serving in the community in their respective roles.
This week, during the third and final reading of the ordinance, City Manager Kevin Spencer shared his thoughts on the benefits of allowing the additional seat for someone who still lives in the county but not in the city to serve on the board.
I think the spirit of the ordinance to allow for people outside of the city is to have that people that enjoy our parks, participate in our parks and our activities, to give them some influence over some of these decisions. I think that's the spirit of this and why we allow 2 to be out of city limits right now.
Stricker still maintained his disdain for the change, fearing the 3 people could potentially serve as quorum during meetings and make decisions on behalf of City of Scottsbluff taxpayers.
And those 3 people are 3/4 of that quorum, and so 3/4 of the people in the quorum make a decision on behalf of the Scottsbluff taxpayers. Not that that would happen, but it's just set up to be that way. I just think fundamentally that's not the best.
They're not going to be making a decision necessarily for us. They're going to be advising the council. So they are an advisory committee. The decision still lays with you.
After no further discussion, Stricker was the lone no vote to amend the ordinance, paving the way to allow all 3 members of the Executive Committee of the Park, Cemetery, and Tree Board to remain on board.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
For this week's featured Pet of the Week, we meet Evie, a 4-year-old domestic short-hair that's been at the Humane Society for several weeks now. Staff says she would benefit from a nice quiet home where she is the center of attention. Her adoption cost is just $50, and that includes her spay, microchipping, and all vaccinations. To meet Evie or any of the cats and dogs available for adoption, you can head on over to the Panhandle Humane Society daily from 1 to 4 p.m.
This isn't just a beautiful hospital. It's the home to exceptional patient care. This is where specialty clinics meet your needs. This is where a friendly smile, a warm hand, and an empathetic ear exist to care for you. This is us. Box Butte General Hospital. Great things are happening here.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Let's take a look at your midweek community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the #1 source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors is simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at rbawyoming.com and start gliding again.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, 1113 Ministries was the beneficiary of the inaugural donation made by a new philanthropic group organized earlier this year in our area. 100 Women Who Care, Scottsbluff County, an organization that brings women together to meet the needs in the community, coordinated by Krista Baird, donated $7,700 to the nonprofit on Tuesday. The local Women Who Care is one of more than 900 such groups across the country that gather 4 times a year for a 1-hour meeting, learn about local charities, with each attendee donating $100 to a charity selected by the group. Meeting for their first time on February 20th, 77 local women voted to donate to 1113 Ministries, making a real impact without time-consuming fundraising events and planning. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.